Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy Live, and we got a great show lined up for you tonight with Mr. Matt Overson and Jana. It's going to be a great show. We're going to talk a lot of things about steak tonight. And as you come in, please let us know if you got questions for these guys and gals. We got Jana and Matt on here. Let us know. We will certainly go in and answer any questions that you have. So we got folks already joining us. Brandon, glad to have you here. Ron, good to have you with us today. Rick, man, it was great to have you on our show here a week or so ago. It was great. We had a great time with you, and we really appreciate you coming on board as well. Caitlin, likewise with you. I had a great time with you. Had a wonderful show, and I know Raz. I know he had a great time. I think that was last week. Got so much stuff going on with the holidays. I'm starting to lose who we had on what show, but I know last week it was Raz. And Steve Conway was on it. Scott, hope you're doing good up in Cleveland, buddy. John, great to have you on our show. And Tim, good to have you with us. Emmeline, thank you for being here. You're always with us. I think Lee said he met you up in Ohio here at a competition not too long ago, and he was talking about that the other day. He was passing through there. Danny, appreciate you being here. Danielle, glad to have you. And got two Danielles with us, one all the way from Florida. Mike, appreciate you being here with us. Paul, as always, great to have you here. And I think we're going to have a great show tonight. Got quite a few folks already coming on board, so continue to let us know as you come. Alfred, appreciate you being here. Dwayne, glad that you're with us. I think this may be one of your first times with us. I think maybe it was on last week, and I know you had a good cook-off this weekend, I think down in Laurel, Mississippi. So we appreciate you being on here as well. Matt, appreciate you being here all the way from Alabama. Mr. Chuck, appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Papa Joe Grilling Supplies in Hutto, Texas. Thank you guys for being here. And we're going to be reaching out to you here pretty soon to see if we can get y'all on the show as well. Trying to line up a few guests, and I've got y'all on my board up here to try to get you on, give you a chance to talk about all the wonderful supplies that you have there at Papa Joe Grilling Supplies. Steve, thank you for being here. Stephen, thank you. Mr. Big Jim Hudgen, appreciate you being here. Man, we got folks just steadily coming on. Manny, thank you for being with us tonight. Jay, always, appreciate it. And Rob, appreciate you being here as well. Angel, you're another one that's on my list, girl. Probably going to be reaching out to you as well. I had a few people that was on the list, but I kept thinking, man, it's just such a last minute trying to get everybody on. I was like, I think I better just not I got to give them a little bit more time than this, because it was from a long weekend from the 4th of July, and I just didn't have a chance to reach out to everybody. I had left Thursday to go to a barbecue competition and didn't get everybody called, but I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you as well. Travis, thank you for being here. Mr. Danny Helm with Be Extreme, thank you, buddy, for being here just like week in and week out. We can always count on you being here in our shows, and we appreciate it, and all the fine product that you have as well. Let's see. Caitlin was an honor on the show last week. Yeah, we had a good time with Raz and Steve. I had a fun time with all of y'all, and I had the pleasure to cook with Jana this weekend. She is awesome. Yes, Jana is really, really nice, sweet lady, and I cannot wait to get a chance to have her on our show tonight and talking about her and her adventures that she's had in the SCA here over this last year. So, oh, goodness gracious, we got Blake on board with us. Let's see, who else? Raz, yep. Blast, that's for sure. Dustin Stanley, there we go. I was hoping he would join us. Dustin is from the Barbecue Store down in Hempstead, Texas. Another one of our partners that's on our show. Got a chance to visit a little bit with Dustin this past weekend down in Trinity, Texas. I was at a barbecue competition for the IBCA, brand new scoring system that they rolled out for this new year starting July the 1st. And it's kind of more of a cumulative score, so it's no longer where you just get points for the 1 through 10 spot in each category. It's a cumulative score of all three of your meats, and you can kind of see exactly where you fell. It rolled out this past weekend flawlessly and went well, and I was able to walk away with a 3rd place chicken, had a 14th place rib, and a 14th place brisket, 22nd place rib, and finished 8th overall out of 49 teams. So got some things I think, and we'll make suggestions of little things I'd like to see them do. They said if we had some suggestions to let them know, I think it would help get more parity in the scores. It's always difficult when you've got 4 different tables and getting judging even. But maybe I can make a suggestion of something that may help that out. So it was a lot of fun. And Dustin, we appreciate you being on our show tonight. Let's see who else. Dr. Pearl's Municipal Smoke Cook Team. I love it. Glad to have you here, Steve. Glad you're with us. Got so many folks here. There's Leanne. Thank you for being here. And that's the president right there of our IBCA. And she's done a really good job taking over after Craig been there for the last 4 years. And did a good job on getting all this stuff rolled out. And I'm excited to see how the new scoring system works. I think there's probably a few little tweaks that I'm going to suggest. They do have a message box that we can go in, or a form that we can fill out for some things. And just to bring more parity in the scores, because that's the only thing that I see that a little bit different. It's not like KCBS where they have certified judges. They're pulling people off the street. So it's a very wide range of scores when you have something like that. There are people that are not trained. We cook for locals, so we never know what the flavor profile is, and we're going to see if how this works out. Hopefully it's going to work out pretty well. So let's see. Tim Zone loves me some Jana. So I tell you what, I appreciate everybody being here. I'm hoping my internet connection is good. And they thought it was a little bit of lag. I'm not sure if it's lagging, but if it is, maybe it's only a couple seconds and we can get through it. So let's see. Love to hear the comments that we've already received. Yep. I'll submit them in tomorrow and get them to you. I've just got a couple little things I think could help tighten up the parity. That's the biggest thing that I see in the scores. Other than that, that's it. Well, without further ado, I know we got a couple folks sitting in the green room, and one of them is Miss Jana Mays, and we also got Matt Overson. I don't see Matt back there right now, so I don't know where he's at. Maybe he may have to log back in. But we're going to go ahead and bring in Miss Jana Mays. She is up. There's Matt. I do see him as well. And before I do that, I always want to start off real quick and thank our sponsors that sponsors our show. Could not do what we do without all of these fine folks. Mr. Danny Helm at Be Extreme Barbecue, B&B Charcoal, Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford, and he also has the Crawford Pit Products, Papa Joe Grilling Supply in Hutto, Texas, like we had just mentioned. Gunter Wilhelm Knives. If you're looking for some knives, I tell you what, they are probably one of the absolute best knives that I have ever in my life used, and they are some kind of wicked sharp. And they hold an edge as good or better than some of the deadgum high dollar $200 and $300 knives that I have seen as well. Got Tapaque. They're still working on that dual sensor probe for the steak cookers. And last but not least, as we mentioned just a minute ago, Dustin at the barbecue store down in Hempstead, Texas. We appreciate all of them and their support that they give us here at Barbecue Champs Academy. So without further ado, let's bring in Miss Jana Mays. We'll bring in ladies first. Hello, Miss Jana. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, Mike. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's so great to have you on our show tonight. Been looking forward to this for some while. And I've got a list of barbecue people and steak people. I try to mix it up week in and week out. And I just was like, I've got to get Jana on the show. So but we appreciate you being here and the success that you have had over the last year. You have done very, very well. And we're very proud of you and very happy for you. So
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And next up, we got the man himself, Mr. Matt Overson. Hey, buddy, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing, Stu?
Doing good, Matt. Doing good. Matt Overson, as many know, is the 2019 SCA points champion, also the founder of Wicked Pig, that awesome marinade that he has. I think there's so many people in the SCA community that is using it, and it definitely helps with the texture on the meat, no doubt. So anyway, Matt, tell us a little bit about how you've been doing, buddy.
I've been doing okay. Had a little family issues. That's why I haven't been online very much or haven't been doing much of anything. But back out on the trail this weekend, Mason City, Iowa, and Was able to knock down 4 comps, so it was good.
That's good. That's good. So what have you got planned for the future? You got quite a few of them you got lined up?
I got 2 more state comps this Saturday in Bondurant, Iowa, which is only about 20 minutes from my house. So
Oh,
looking
wow.
forward to not that far of a drive.
That's good. That's good. And Jana, what about you? Tell us what you cooked this weekend. Didn't you cook down toward Laurel, Mississippi?
I did cook Laurel, Mississippi. Jamie Cooley puts on one heck of an event, and his New Year's Eve, New Year's Day one is where I actually got my golden ticket. Um, and so I was looking forward to this one, and he did not disappoint at all.
That's good. How did you end up doing down there?
I ended up on fourth on Sunday,
On Sunday.
which there was a
Okay.
three-way tie for first, and I had the second highest score. So I don't know if that technically makes me second, but we'll take the score that I had. It was good.
I got you. So, anyway, well, I know both of y'all. I know that it seems like the state competitions are really ramping up now. I know there was a lot of doubles this weekend. I guess maybe a lot of it was because of 4th of July. I was kind of looking at the schedule. Man, it looks like here in it's either next week or the week after. There's like 5 or 6 competitions going on across the U.S. On one of either the Friday or a Saturday. And I guess, have y'all got your schedule kind of lined up of what you're going to be hitting this year? Matt?
Yeah, a little bit. I got a lot of hogs lined up. So I did Memphis in May with Boars Night Out, but I'm going to Marcio still and Pasch Christian. I'm doing hog there and 2 SCAs. Signed up for Lambert's whole hog and his 2 SCA events. The Royal is going to have an SCA event also. I think it's on Thursday night. And I'm also cooking hog at the Royal. So I got Illinois for 2 weeks from now, and then Bondurant next weekend or this coming weekend. So I'm getting it all lined up.
Okay. So you got quite a few of them lined up. And you're doing the American Royal too, right?
Yeah, the
Is that what
American
you
Royal,
said?
and then I'm also I'm signed up for Club Food also.
Okay. Jana, what about you? Have you got
Try to
you got some competitions lined up?
Yeah, I'm taking a little bit of a break. It's too hot right now. And then in August, there's one right here in Mobile at the fairgrounds, and then a BCA cook on Saturday. So I'm going to do both steak and then barbecue on Saturday. And then in September, we'll ramp back up again. And it's almost every weekend from then until New Year's. Jamie has another event, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Right. So what barbecue competition you going to be doing?
BCA, the Barbecue Competitors Alliance. It's kind of a
Yeah.
local southern states one. I'll do that one.
Which one is it?
It's
Where's
at
it
the
at?
fairgrounds here in Mobile.
Oh, in Mobile. Okay. I've got a couple of these on our schedule because I do quite a few of the BCAs. So I just have never branched out of
You should come to
Louisiana.
Mobile.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's just such a long haul for a competition. I'm like going, man, that's just too far to go. I keep talking to Andy. He's trying to get me to go down to Morgan City this end of the month. They've got one that's down there. It's about 275 miles south of us. And he said, you need to go. You got 3 bungs in Louisiana for the jack draw. If you could pull that one off, that would give you 4 bungs. And I think there's about 8 or 9 competitions in Louisiana. So I'd have maybe a 50% chance of getting drawn. That's my goal this year, is to try to get a jack draw. And I'm trying to get as many bungs in as I can. So, and he said, when is the one in Mobile, Alabama? Is it in August?
August 20th and 21st.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, he said just go to it anyway. He said you can actually get a chance.
I think it's a jack qualifier.
Yeah, all the BCAs are jack qualifiers. So they're automatic jack qualifiers, and they're also qualifiers for the American Royal. So anyway, well, I'm looking forward to it. And Matt, have you ever been to the jack?
I have not. I've had some bungs in for it, but never got my bung drawn. So
Never got drawn. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never got a chance to go. I will be cooking the American Royal again this year. I did it in 2017, and I'm kind of looking forward to getting back up there to that. And at the same time, hopefully, can get a draw. I've got one bung in the state of Texas, and I've got 3 of them in Louisiana. So I'm hoping my name gets drawn out of one of them. So I did hear some news this year that I think because they carried over from 2019, they're going to draw the 1 year separately. Then they're going to put all the bungs in for the next for this past year, and then they'll draw those. So they're not going to put everything in at one time and draw the 2, because this year they're going to draw 2 out of every state because they didn't have it last year. So the odds go up a little bit more by doing that. So anyway, well, Matt, tell me what you.
I imagine the American Royal will be, a little different this year because everybody's stuff kind of rolled over from last year.
Yeah, I've got a feeling the Invitational could be quite large. Usually it's about 115, 120 people, and when I was there in 2017, it was like 119 people. So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if there's just going to be a lot more people show up for it or not. But, it is what it is, right? So go cook, have fun. So
yeah.
Anyway, what's your take on the new point system that the SCA has rolled out? Are you liking it now that you've kind of seen it in play now for about almost 6 months now? First half of the season, it started when January the 1st was it. So we've got 6 months under our belt. What's your thoughts on the way it is? Do you like it? Do you like the amount of cook-offs? I think it's 15 cook-offs. What's your thoughts on that?
Right now, I like it. I like it because, I noticed, Rusty had a check. He's up in there, first place right now. Sandy, I think, is in second after this weekend still. But Nardies, they're hanging in there tight. But see, they don't have to leave their home area to be up. They don't have to do as like a bunch. They don't have to travel as much. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes it so they be able to stay home with their family and get to do what they want to do, and then still feel free to go cook whenever they want. And right now I like it. We'll see what happens when it gets down to the end, because the max on them points is only 11. So they're at 8 point something, I think, right now. So the max is 11. And now if you bump up the mini cooks, to 25, you're still going to have a max of 11, but you have to get in 25 instead of 15. So it doesn't matter if maybe we'll just see how it pans out at the end of the year. We got 6 months left, about a little less than 6 months. So we'll see how it pans out, but I like the way it's going. I mean, now that I can get rolling here, I just kind of get back in the swing of things, and I have a bunch of cooks under my belt. I won Kansas City, so I know just need to get to my 15. I think I'm there now after the weekend, but it's starting to get around. I'm in the hunt still. I mean, I can get on fire just like anybody else. So.
Oh yeah. Where are you at in points? Have you checked? You in the top 20, 25? Hadn't looked. Okay. Yeah, and you haven't got a chance to cook either. That's another thing. I know in the last 2 or 3 weeks you've had a lot of things going on and wouldn't be able to get out and cook. But now that the season's coming into that time of the year, you got a lot of cook-offs that are really coming, a lot of doubles, and man, I've seen you get on a roll before, and you get on a roll and start knocking off some top 3 finishes. You can run up those deadgum rankings in a hurry the way it is now.
Yeah, I've had some good scores this weekend. I was 10th, 11th, 12th, and 19th out of 52, and the 10, 11, and 12 were over 250. I had in my 10th place, 11th place, I had a 53-1 in flavor, and just nothing changed. I mean, it just, tenths of a point was, another half point, I think I'd have been, close to second.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Was tight. Yeah. Yeah. Jana, what about you?
I think Jana dealt with that this weekend.
Yeah. Jana, you started off on fire. At one time you was number 1 right out the gate.
Yeah, it took me a while.
Yeah. So where are you at
Um,
now in the points, and what do you think about the way the point system is now?
well, I didn't start cooking until October last year, so I was still fairly new to the whole thing, how it worked. And then the beginning of the year, yeah, because I had won, and so the points were up there. But then as you cook more, your average goes back, kind of goes down if you're not, if you're just getting those 1 point turn ins and stuff. But
Right.
I like it. I like that someone could come in mid season and still have a chance to be in the race for the points because of the way it averages out. Because you can easily get 15 cooks in between now and the end of the year, and if you do well, you're right there. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be going every single weekend. And so I think financially it helps people out too. They don't have to put out the money every weekend to cook to try and stay in it. They can do what
Right.
they can when they can. So I think it works out for everybody really well.
Yeah. I think it kind of evens the playing field, gives everybody a chance to make a top 10 finish, right? That's the biggest thing that I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
average cannot go down. That's the thing you got to look at. You've already had your 15, so now what you're trying to do. So those sevens and eights and nines and tens you got sticking in there, those you need to knock those out and start getting below that 6, 7.
Yeah.
Getting the fives and fours and threes and twos to get in there, and then your average will go up. Your average will never go down. Your average is going to stay exactly where it's at unless you better what you have in your compiled 15 scores.
Right.
right. Right. Yeah. That's
You understand that? Yeah.
yeah, that's really interesting the
Yeah.
way
That
that
makes,
they've done it. Go ahead, Jana.
and there's people that have come in and that are just
So
on
that's
fire that have climbed up really fast.
Yep. Yeah, Terry
yeah.
Terry
I mean,
Roan
look at
here
Sandy.
lately.
Sandy's had like I think 4. Go ahead. We have a little lag, Mike, so I'm
Yeah,
trying
go
to
ahead.
not cut you off and stuff
Go
like that.
ahead.
So.
Go ahead and talk about Sandy.
Sandy Brown, she had four. She's had 4 third places in like 2 weeks, which just shot her right up in there. And I mean, and she got first this weekend too. So I think a first and a third, or no, she didn't get first. She got a third and like 2 or 3 fifths. So it's going to help her average. But we did the points already, and Rusty's still in first. So.
Right, yeah. And Terry Rowan's been making a pretty good run. I've noticed he's had, here about a couple of weeks ago, man, he got on a tear and it just catapulted him right up into the top 10. I don't know where he is now. I haven't checked the standings. But, you can get on a pretty good run and run up the schedule, run up the points pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's like Rob Fleming with Bama Barbecue Supply. Rob's been doing amazingly well. And I think he's got four firsts now after this
Wow.
weekend. So,
Wow.
and not having to cook every single weekend. I think it really does even everything out for everybody.
Right, right. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, just a couple second place finishes for him, and some thirds. That would put him. You might not even see him on the list, or he might be in 10th. Well, you can go from 10th. I mean, I think Rusty went from 7th to 1st in a weekend, just by a couple third place finishes, just because he's knocking those nines out and getting them thirds. I mean, and if he would win, his stuff would be going way high. So
Right.
it's going to be cool. Like I said, but I mean, it's the more wins, it's going to get interesting right down there. And I mean, you're going to almost have to win to maybe beat your, but it makes you a better cook, I think.
Right.
So.
Right. More challenging. It is. It is. Well, we got quite a few folks asking some questions, so let's jump in here. Let's see. Chris, what's the longest you would travel for a comp? Well, I try to keep it under 275 miles. Obviously, I'm going to travel a little ways going to the American Royal. It's about 615 miles up there, and I hadn't even looked at the Jack. We'll cross that bridge if I get there. So, but I try to keep it under 250 miles. That's my max is about 275. That's when we went down to Morgan City. Typically, I like to stay within 200 miles of the house. It's just long travel, and you come back, you're tired. It's not like steak. Barbecue stuff is, we're pulling a 40-foot toy hauler and stuff like that. It ain't like I can throw it in the back of the truck and take off. So let's see what else we got. Riley. Oh, let's see where I just passed her up. Look at Riley. Yeah. Hey, Miss Jana and Mr. Matt. She's saying hello. Caitlin says, if y'all want to keep drinks cold, look up these awesome cups Jana makes. Yeah, I have seen some of them cups that you've made, Jana, so they do look pretty awesome. I like the fact that someone, here's a good question. I like the fact that someone that can't cook every weekend of the year can still do well in the points. Yeah, that's the thing, kind of what Matt's saying. You can go out and cook a handful of cook-offs, and if you get out there and knock out a bunch of top 5 finishes, you're going to finish up pretty dead gum high in the points. So let's see. Caitlin says that she loves the new point system, and let's see. The drive back home is horrible. Yeah, the drive back home is horrible, especially if you did not walk. Yeah, that's never good. So anyway, do you find running around now doing the doubles and stuff, or like I remember last year you was running around from one competition, you would take off, you would load up and go to another competition, you would take off and load up. Do you feel like you have to do that now because you only have so many cook-offs to do, you don't feel like you have to chase the points as much? Is that making things easier for you there, Matt?
Yes. It's I'm in Iowa. But yeah, I really, there's plenty of stuff to do around here. I mean, if there's a weekend that's not close, if I was really on top and I needed some points, I would make a travel down to the south. Probably go to Texas. I love cooking in Texas. Texas just loves me. Mississippi, I'm gonna fly into quite a few spots here coming up.
I got you. Scott wants to know, are there any new changes or any new products coming from Wicked Pig?
There's something big coming out of me. But I'm not at liberty to say.
Okay, yeah. He kind of said something here not too long ago, so you'll find out. Just we'll break the news here for him on Barbecue Champs Live. How about that? So, Jana, what about you? Are you liking? Did you have to travel a lot, or do you just kind of stay local around Mobile, Alabama area and try not to travel out too far?
We travel all over. We bought a small travel trailer, which isn't really much bigger than some of these state cook trailers. And so we'll take off, and like we cooked Liberty, Texas, then camped a week in Arkansas, did the competition in Searcy, and then drove the 9 hours home.
Yeah.
But we have the ability to be able to do that working, as I work from home and Jeff's
Right.
retired. And so now we love the travel part of it. So we try and hit as many as we can, in a couple weekends, which it's just fun. We just have a blast. Yeah. We've met so many people from all over.
Right. That makes it nice. All right. So Tim's got a question. Matt, what's the best way to use Wicked Pig now? Has anything changed, or are you still using it about pretty much the same that you did?
14 minutes. I mean, I didn't, I picked try hearts a week, but 14 minutes. But I want to tell people, when I bring them back to my campsite, the best thing to do is probably put them in the cooler for 15 minutes and let them firm up. And then before people start trimming them, a lot of times if there's, when they're sitting on the table out there, they're getting warm, they get kind of floppy, a little mushy, and put them in the cooler for 15 minutes. They're going to be easier to trim, and people suck up and then they don't feel as soft. So it's in that bag on your way back to your walk back to your site.
Right.
A lot of people
so let it firm up some before you do it.
Trouble, and that hopefully that fixes some things.
Yeah.
Okay. Easier. I mean, if your steak stays nice and square and just looks a lot better.
Right. All right, Jen, I got a question
minutes.
for you.
I don't change that at all.
Okay,
sorry, Mike.
So you just kind of stuck there at the fort. That's where you're like 7 minutes per aside. All right, Matt's freezing up a little bit on us here. Okay, Jenna, let's go to you real quick. On your last cook-off, did you use your M16 or your C4?
Actually, I used both. Hadn't done real well in Liberty, and I needed a little mental reset, so I went back to the C4 and I got a walk, and so I switched back and forth this last weekend, and I love both of them for completely different reasons. But the M16 is a beast, and the C4, that's what I first learned on, and that's all I had cooked on until the M16. So when I need to kind of give that little reset and refocus, I go back to the C4. There you go, Matt.
Matt, what are you doing, man? You got you showing off that grill logo, huh? There you go. Let's see, Papa Joe, we need help with SCA judges down south in Texas. The scores are really, really low. Yeah, it's really sad when stuff like that happens. There's always low-scoring tables, it seems, and there's just no way to get uniformity in it unless you just got judges that are just very consistent, and that consistency sometimes is really, really hard to get. So, let's see what he said. Oh, Hutto, bless those low scores. Yeah, sometimes the low scores suck. That's for dang sure. So, anyway, well, Matt or Jana, either one of you that wants to take this question, and I don't know, Jana, if you never got a chance to cook last year in the heat, because you said you didn't start cooking until September, October last year, so you probably never dealt with the heat. But one of the questions that I was wanting to find out from you guys, and you've probably got a lot more experience in this, Matt, because you've been cooking longer and you have cooked during the summer. What are some of the things that you would recommend people to do to prepare for cooking steaks during the hot summer?
Jana, you want to go or you want me to?
I just wing it. No, for personal, as the cook, just staying hydrated, staying cool, get a fan or whatever. But as far as I know on my M16, it heats up a whole lot quicker when it's 100 degrees out. So you just have to work with it. That's why you do a practice. So you can see where your temps are running.
Yeah, fire management is a very big thing. Obviously, when you come into the heat, I notice on my big rotisserie, I don't put near as much lump in it to start it as I do when I'm in cooler months. And I know I'm going through about a half a bag less. I would use a 20-pound bag when it was below like 50 degrees, and now I'm using probably 2/3 of a bag or maybe a little bit less, between a half and 2/3. I noticed it's just not using near as much fuel. So same thing with a grill. It's getting really, really hot. You got to really be on top of your fire management. That's for sure. So, Matt, what about you? You want to tackle this? Is there some things that in the whole steak prep part of it and the grilling? Obviously, Jana left a pretty good tip there. You really got to watch your fire. What are some other things that you really look for or thinking outside the box a little bit when it's really hot outside for cooking a steak? I got my pen ready.
Yeah, your steak's gonna get a little warmer if you let it sit on the table and let it get to room temperature, 60, 70 degree weather. Your steak's gonna be 60, 70 degrees. Well, it's now 90. So your steak's gonna creep up there in the 80s or somewhere. It might get a little hotter than that. So if you are cooking, maybe say you do 115 or 125 on your turns, you may get back that down. Right now I'm sitting at like this weekend I set 120. Either it was 119 to 121, all 4 steaks this weekend when I put them on the rack. And then it doesn't take long to get to your achieved number. And I got a 5-degree rise to 6-degree rise out of my steak all weekend. So it was pretty consistent. I cooked one. Been seeming to do a lot better if I do not cook a practice steak and get in my own head. I know what I want. I like the color. I got a 50 with it Friday night. It's going to be the same judges all weekend. I might as well roll with it. I threw all those steaks in a bag. They're in the grinder, and I've just been running one steak. So,
wow. Do you notice carryover temperature? Is the carryover temperature a little bit more, or does it go up higher when it's really hot outside, like mid-90s?
No, you should get the same. The carryover, if your steak would be colder when you put it on, the carryover is going to be maybe a little bit more greater. But if your steak's warm and you put it on a warm grill, you shouldn't have that carryover. Some people get those big swings. Tell me about them. It might be in your thermometer. Check your thermometers, your thermopins, the battery life on them things. There's no battery indicator that says, hey, it's low on battery. They do get low on battery, and it will throw off your pin. So check your batteries every 6 months. I mean, they're cheap. I mean, it's going to cost you a comp. You just put a $2 battery in that thing every 6 months. You'll be just fine. Check it in water. Check it in boiling water, ice bath, whatever you got to do. Check those thermometers. If you're off, and you could be off 5-6 degrees. 5-6 degrees can lose your comp. So,
Absolutely.
Word of the wise. I've been there, done that. I've been down that road, so it sucks. I didn't catch it for almost 3 weeks.
Wow.
It was like that.
Okay, so keep an eye on your thermopin, testing it. Put it in boiling water, see what your temperature is. Put it in the freezer, see what your temperature is. Make sure it's pretty accurate. That is, that's something we're trusting that little electronic device, but we don't have calibrations for it. So it would probably be a good idea to once a month to go throw it in some boiling water just to make sure that it's staying pretty accurate. So yeah, that's interesting. That's a good tip, and keeping a fresh battery in it as well. So
let's see. Spare batteries.
Yeah,
I have spare batteries. Yeah. Another thing would be, I've learned a lot by cooking, a lot of steaks, but I can almost tell you what the temperature is by looking at the color of blood coming out of the top of the hole after you put, if you stick a thermopin in there, just by looking at the color of the blood, I can tell you about where that steak is getting ready to be taken off. Maybe pay attention more to your steak. The steak will tell you what it needs to do. I'm going to attempt one of these days to cook a steak without a thermopin or any type of thing in my hand. So
you're going to do the field test, huh?
I've learned a lot, over the course of a bunch of years, and I've cooked a lot of steaks, and I think I can get done. So
wow. Okay, so Jay, what temp
you
your
have to
grill
watch
marks?
your
Go ahead, Jana.
Oh, you have to watch, like if you have your time stack or your thermopin or any of those things, your dot sitting in the sun, the screens will get too hot and they'll go black, and then you're really out. So you got to watch your equipment as well and make sure that you've got it in the shade, or toss it in the cooler, toss it in the fridge, and it'll come back. But it's kind of a scary moment when you look down and your timer is completely dark.
Yeah.
Just because it got too hot, overheated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overheated. Yeah, you can't put it in the sun, that's for sure. The LED screens do not like it.
Put it in a plastic bag and stick it in the cooler. It'll come back in about 5 minutes. Been there, done that too. Yep, Jana, you're good point.
Yep. So that's what I'm talking about. Good pro tips. A lot of people may not know that. So, but yeah, Jay, he does do that. That's what he's talking about. It comes off the rack, goes on the cool side, and he'll raise it up. Is that what you were talking about, Matt? You'll take it and put it on your easy rack, raise it up, let it kind of come up to temperature. I thought that's what you said. So, Alfred, I do better if it is hotter outside. I would rather grill when the weather is hot than cold. I prefer to have a steak around 100 degrees before the sear. So, carryover is great with a colder steak than a warmer steak. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Let's see. Raz comes in. Check your temp shortly after the fourth turn when it's hot in case it ran on you. So, yep, another great point. Let's see. I learned the battery lesson. Yeah, I learned the battery lesson. Yeah, it won't take but one time of learning that battery lesson.
I do mine on the third turn. Because once it's done on the fourth, I mean, if it's overcooked, you're done. So if you got on your third turn, check it. If you can make it to that fourth, all the way through your fourth turn, then you're good to go. That way, So.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and Kevin brings up a good point. Ice water is good, because as you get higher up in elevation, boiling water don't boil at 212. So take note of that. I mean, most of the people down in the South, I mean, we're all at sea level down here, so you're kind of okay to check it just to make sure. Put it in boiling water, and you could check it both ways. Check it in boiling water and put it in ice water as well. So, Jana says Jody says she always has. Thanks for the spare battery. I guess Jody needed one as well. So. It was so hot in Katy, Texas, my Thermopin went into error. I had to put it in the beer cooler. So, yeah, it does make a big difference. And it's little things like this, like Tim said, these are great tips. This is what you got to be prepared for, because when it gets hot outside, man, it's miserable. And then when you start having equipment failure, my dot failed on me this past weekend. So, you got to watch that kind of stuff, and that's the biggest thing, being cool, staying hydrated, keeping your equipment where it's good, focusing on your fire management, because your fire will tend to run hot. Does it affect grill grates? Do the temperatures on the grill grates tend to get affected in the heat, or do they just come up quicker to temp?
Not on an M grill, they don't.
Jana, do you like your M grill better than what you was cooking on?
Both of them are M grills. One's just the C4, and one's the M16. But that M16, I love the heat control, the airflow, the way you can change it. You can configure the grates where you want them. A cool side, warm, hot side. And I did, all 4 steaks and never had to relight another chimney just by, choking it down a little bit, ready to fire it back up, open them up, and it comes right back up to temp.
Wow. And have you always cooked on the C4 and then just got the M16?
I did. When I just started, I didn't have anything else, and he had just come out with the SCA edition of the C4, and I got the red one, and then he came out with the pink one, so I had to have that. And that's kind of my signature thing, is that pink C4.
I got you. All right. So I thought for some reason you had started on like a PK or something like that. So you started on the C4 nope. and then got an M16. Okay.
Yeah. Always been in grills.
I know Matt loves the M grill. I know he switched over to the M16, and just the color, everything, the consistency. I know when Marissa was down here, I got a chance really firsthand to see the construction of that grill, what it looked like. And she just gave some great tips on fire management in her class. Marissa really, I think, helped a lot of people understand the M16, how to run it. And man, I tell you what, I was just amazed at how that grill, when she said, this is what it's going to do, and she did it. And then she said, now we're going to do this, and we did it. And I mean, it was just like, she said, it'll go right to this temperature. And it did. And I was just like, golly, that thing is like, it's a Sherman tank. It's well constructed. I love the gasket that they had, like that felt gasket that was around the lid. And to me, that's what makes the controls so awesome on that thing. You have no leakage, and you are strictly controlling everything with events. And to me, it is a work of art. I will have to say they've done an amazing job with that grill. And the airflow that it gets in, I can see how it gives it such beautiful color on those steaks. So I've got a chance to see that. I've got a chance to see the Hasty Bake. I've got a chance to see the PK. So Hasty Bake's a pretty nice grill. That little Ranger that John cooks on, I like the ability to be able to lift the grates up and down. So there's a lot of versatile cookers out there, but those two seem to be right at the very top for sure.
Yeah, when I was
consistent, repeatable.
In Mason City this weekend. Go ahead, Jana.
Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry, the lag is killing me.
I just said
from Girls came to Mason City this weekend.
Go ahead, Matt. Let's let you, and then Jana, you can do it.
He was able to bring us the C4 carts, the new foldable carts, to Mason City, and I'm telling you what, I'm gonna get rid of that cart that I have, and that new cart is badass. Mm-hmm. So it's cool.
Jana, go ahead.
I was going to say consistent, repeatable results. That M16, I can cook, and I'm going to get the same results. It just works. Whatever Travis does, and the way it's constructed is just amazing. And you're right, that cart is a lifesaver for me. I'm 6'2". I can pop it up and raise it up where it's perfect height for me. Someone that's a little shorter can drop it down to the other height. I have the one for the M16, but my C4 fits on it as well. But I like that it's adjustable height-wise and then folds completely flat and just slides in the bed of the truck.
Wow. So he's got a cart for it now. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Alfred wants to know when you're coming to Texas compete. He said he's got some Wicked Pig he'll let you use. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. What have we got here? I just got to go ahead to order my M16. Tim, I tell you right now, I think you're absolutely going to love it. So it's a fantastic product. Love my Hasty Bake Ranger. Yep, I know Connie was cooking on a Hasty Bake. So, Alan, great seeing you last weekend in Mason City. And what did I say? Did I hear a C4? So is the cart... So the cart is for the M16, but it will still work on the C4. Is that correct?
There's two carts.
Okay.
One just has a flat surface, and the other one has a lockdown where the M16 fits in, and the rails lock in, so it doesn't slide or anything. But the other one is just a flat surface, so you could use it as a prep table if you needed to.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, I tell you what, I'm very happy for both of y'all. Jan, I know I'm really excited for what you started off last year, and the way that you came out the gates, just absolutely killing it, and started off this year just right off the get-go with a couple of first place. And it's so great to see the success of people that have taken our classes and get out there and doing well. It makes us feel good at Barbecue Champs, and I know all the cookers as well that you've taken classes from. And to me, that's what helps grow this sport, right? And we've seen a huge rise in the SCA. We've had a lot of people that were struggling that have reached out to me that said I was ready to give up. I've taken classes, and because of the classes on Barbecue Champs and the guys and gals that are on there, it was game changing, and it just opened my eyes to a whole new way of cooking. And he's like, I love it. I'm competing now. I'm doing good. I'm having fun, and I'm not quitting now. So that we get a lot of stories like that.
I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for the classes that I've been able to take. Both barbecue, I took Sterling's classes, cooked my first KCBS, got Reserve Grand, and then started taking the state cooking classes. And I mean, you pull little tips from each one, you make it your own, but there's so much information that's offered up in those classes that it's amazing. It helps just kind of refine your game.
Yeah, there's no doubt it is game changing, and that's the thing. I've had a lot of people like, which class to take. I was like, just go pick one. They're all good. They're all good. And I was like, you're going to end up finding when you take one, you're going to come back for another 2 or 3 more. Because then you can kind of pick out little segments of each one of them and do things that, that make it your own. And now you're not cooking the same as everybody else. Because when you take 3 or 4 classes like that, what you put together with those recipes may not be the same combination that somebody else is. There's so many different variables or so many different ways to come up with those different recipes. And you can literally tweak it and make it your own. And to me, I think that's what's made a lot of people very successful of taking our classes and stuff. So, yes. Travis, I see Travis just came on here just a second ago. And, man, I'm telling you right now, we were just bragging about this M16 grill. I got a chance to see it for the first time when Marissa was here filming her class. And I love looking at construction of stuff, the way that it's built. It comes from my racing years of all the years drag racing and stuff like that. But, man, Travis, the attention to detail that you put into that grill, and when I opened the lid up and I saw the felt around the lid on it, I was just like, wow, this thing is a work of art. All the welds, the beads, look like you were laying dimes, man, and you got some great welders there as well. And it is just a very, very good quality product throughout. And I can see now why the thing controls the temperature so well, because you've got a gasket between that lid and that bottom pan. And all the air is going to move through one place and one place only, and that's through the vents. And that's how you can control it. So awesome job, man. I really think you've got something great there. So let's see. We got more questions and stuff floating in. Let's see. Danielle, I took Matt's class and it helped me tremendously. Let's see. Jana's an awesome competitor and cook. I love seeing Jana at the comps and looking forward to the upcoming comps as well. DJ, let's see. My last 5 comps I walked. That's after I took Matt's classes. So, yeah, there you go. Another success story.
Thank you.
Yeah, Matt, thank you for the Wicked Pig that helped me out this past weekend in Shiner, Texas with the knife place in my first SCA comp. Great product. Wow. That is so awesome to be able to go out in his first comp and have a top 10 finish.
Good job, Blake.
Way to go, Blake. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just so many good cooks out there to get top 10 calls is just amazing. So, Caitlin Crane says Matt's class is top notch. Entering my first SCA this year. It should be a great learning experience. Yes, absolutely it will. Let's see. I've taken Shauna's wheels and Terry's. Got to get on Matt's. Yeah, Paul, you're going to learn a lot from that as well. So, yeah, appreciate you guys and all the support. Absolutely. Lots of people always ready to help and answer questions. Best of luck. And Marissa's. Yes. Yeah, I tell you what, Marissa's class has been out for right about 2 months now. And, man, there is some people that have taken that class that have done extremely well. That girl is absolutely unbelievable. And, man, I know you have got to be extremely proud of what your sister has accomplished. That's for sure. So, let's see. Matt's class is great. For those that have not taken it yet, I highly recommended it. Great job, Matt. Also, great job to Mike and Barbecue Champs. Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate it. We have the code for Barbecue Champs members if you use Barbecue Champs 10 Papa Joe Grilling Supply. Yep. And we're going to get all that stuff posted in the forum. We have been working frantically for the last 3 weeks, completely redoing the website. If you go take a look at our homepage, you probably notice it looks completely different than what it used to. Complete makeover on the page, and we have been spending a lot of time and money on trying to get things to be more user friendly, and we're steadily reaching out to the backyard cookers as well. So anyway, okay, ask Jana about that banana pudding. Okay, so I'm going to ask you about the banana pudding because that's one thing I absolutely love.
Friday night, after the single at the Jesse Dillon James Foundation Cooking Cersei, they fed us, and he had just asked, people want to make desserts, and I said, sure, I'll make banana pudding. It's kind of my thing. So I made three half pans of banana pudding, and it was gone. They liked some banana pudding, but that's my thing to bring to everything is banana pudding.
Yeah, I love me some banana pudding. That is for sure. So,
Nathan, I'll bring you
let's
some.
See. When are the ancillary recipes coming out? Well, we're just about to finish them up. I'm hopeful that they may be out by the end of July. That's what our game plan is. It is just a lot of videos to go through. We was in the middle of reconstructing all the website and stuff like that, and at the same time, now we're having to figure out how we're going to go about laying out our ancillary classes and stuff. So that is something that we are working on. And hopefully within the next month, we'll have those classes up as well. So let's see. I think we've got most of the questions answered. We've got a lot of folks still on. I do want to make a quick announcement. This past weekend, we had a competition going on for Barbecue Champ Academy's alumni. And and it was pretty simple. I just needed one person to make the shout out and post, and they would have won. I guess everybody forgot that Barbecue Champs Academy started this weekend. If everybody would give us a shout out on the stage and tag us at BBQ Champs Academy, whoever had the highest score was going to win $50. And
Totally
I had
forgot.
one guy. I had one guy
my
that hit.
sponsors too.
Yeah, I had one person that hit first place. He said, "Mike, I posted it, but I completely forgot to announce it on the stage and give a shout out to everybody that I took the class." And I was like, "Wow!" So, there we go. So I kept the $50 for this week. We'll roll it off into next week. So here's the rule, and I tell you what. Here's one of the things that I think I'm going to go in and change. Because I understand one thing, and I almost made the change on Thursday, and I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and let it get out over the weekend, but here's what we are going to do. I think instead of using an overall score, because different regions are going to score differently. Matt was on a really high-scoring region this weekend. Texas, they was on a really low-scoring region. So here's what we're going to do, and I'm going to make the changes in all the forms. We're going to give the $50 to whoever has the highest overall finish, first, second, third, fourth. That way, it doesn't matter where you cook, and it doesn't affect whatever the score was. So whoever has the highest overall score, or the highest overall finish, is going to be who's going to win the $50. Should there be a tie, the only way I know to break the tie then is to go to overall score, because I don't know of any other way to break it. So the way it'll work is
SCA points.
Do what now?
You could do SCA points too. So if someone had a first and a second, and someone else had a second and a third, depending on how they.
Yeah, the only thing I would worry about there is if they didn't cook two competitions. So I don't know. I would imagine most people do. Somebody else, Angel said, go by SCA points. So how would that work? So if it's a first and a second, you take the 2 points and add them up?
Yep.
I'm going to do it again this weekend, right? If I get a double call to entries, go test. So I don't know. I'll determine what I'm going to.
Mike, here, I'll fix this real quick. If we get a tie, I'll kick in the other 50 and they'll give them both some money.
There we go. So anyway, hey, or do a drawing with the ties. Yeah, I don't really want to do a drawing. I'd rather it just come out to go to taste. That's one thing. Dan just said go to taste.
That's a good one.
Taste seems to be pretty consistent. I don't see a lot of wild swings in taste instead of overall. So we could either do whoever has the highest overall finish as far as placements, and then if we wanted to use a tiebreaker, we could go to taste. What do you think about that? Y'all like that?
Yeah.
No,
Matt.
I told you I'd kick in the $50.
What are you gonna do if we got
ties.
a three-way tie?
Then I'm gonna spend 75, and you're gonna spend 75. How about that?
So we're gonna spend some more money. We're gonna pay a bunch of people out. Oh, goodness gracious! Well, we might
incentive to remember.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, but the thing is, what I worry more about that, because you may have somebody has a double over the weekend, and then there's going to be a lot more opportunities for ties and stuff like that. So, I think we probably end up just doing that. We'll go at whoever has the highest overall finish, as far as in the rankings from 1st to 10th place. If there is a tie between two people, then we'll just go to the taste score, whoever had the highest taste score. And because I think, because taste, it seems like to me, is pretty consistent. That way you don't have a whole bunch of judges, dinging you on appearance and doneness and texture and stuff like that. It seems like the taste scores are a lot closer. So anyway, Caitlin says just split the money. So, but we'll tweak that out. But please take advantage of this money that we're getting. We're doing this for 12 weeks from now through the end of September. First weekend, I'm going through, and see, it makes it really easy because I can go look at page mentions. And I pulled up my mentions, and I was like, well, nobody mentioned Barbecue Champs all weekend. So, don't even have to.
Any comp? What if I place in the BCA? Do I get to shout out for that too?
It's for the SCA. Okay. It's for SCA. I haven't done it yet for the barbecue. I am working on trying to do something like that. So, Let's see. Taste is the first tiebreaker, so that would do. Okay, good. That's what we'll end up doing. So, can we get a rewind for this past weekend? Yes, everybody needs to rewind and get ready. So,
Connie did amazing this weekend.
Yeah, she had a great weekend as well.
She really did.
No doubt. Yeah, a lot of, and I'm so proud of so many of you girls that are out there cooking. It's just been huge. So once again, if you cook this weekend, number one, when you go up on stage, give a shout out to Barbecue Champs Academy. We need that. Number two, make sure that in your post you put at BBQ Champs Academy. When you do the at BBQ Champs Academy, it'll automatically give me the notification that somebody mentioned us. I'll automatically know, hey, this person's entered into this. And then I'll know to see how you finished. And then if there's a tie, then we're going to use the taste as a tiebreaker. So I think that's going to make it more fair because it doesn't matter about overall scores because different regions are going to score differently. So we're just going to use that highest placed finish. And if there's a tie, we're going to go to the taste scores. So I think that's going to be a lot better. Anyway, Jana, any closing words?
Yep.
No, have fun, cook a steak.
That's it. All right. And Matt,
just
what
enjoy
about you,
it.
buddy?
Enjoy what you do.
Yep. Matt? Any closing words, buddy?
Oh, I find that you there. Have fun and hope to see everybody on the trail.
There you go.
Keep racking them points up. Keep using Wicked Pig.
I tell you what, man, there's a lot of people that out there using it. I mean, it being a barbecue competition, I'm going to have to start taking this stuff with me because I've had 3 people come up to me. Hey, do you have any of that Wicked Pig? I'm like, man, I cook barbecue. You don't have any with you? I'm going to do a steak. I was like, so I'm literally going to take the Wicked Pig that's sitting back here behind me, and I'm going to put a bottle of this in my truck. And I'm going to make sure that I distribute this out to all the people at the barbecue competitions that come up and need some Wicked Pigs. So probably have to be ordering some from that. So anyway, well, I tell you what, it's been a great show. I've had a lot of fun, and I appreciate both of y'all being on our show tonight. Appreciate all the people. Man, we have had a mass amount of questions, and I hope we got everything answered. Appreciate everybody being on here. And use the pig for your brisket. I haven't got that brave yet. My brisket's just been too good. But who knows? So
Mike,
yeah,
Mike, I've been told by like at least 3 or 4 people now that have been injecting their brisket 2.5 to 3 hours prior to putting it on, and they say it's a game changer. So
it's a game changer.
I haven't tried it yet. As soon as I get my hands on a brisket, I will be trying it. So
wow, Wicked Pig is great for venison. Connie's done tried it. So, oh goodness gracious. Well, I tell you what, it's been a great show. We appreciate once again all of our fans and everybody that's here every weekend and week out. We may have some barbecue folks come on here next weekend because we've had quite a few steak cooks for here the last couple of weeks. We try to mix it up. Heck, sometimes we'll even have barbecue and steak on here at the same time, talk about a lot of stuff. But I've had a lot of fun with the show tonight. I'm sorry for the little lag that we've had. I do not know what's going on. I've got a pretty fast internet service and tested the speed twice. I'm restarted the computer and it's still been lagging a little bit, so I'm going to shut the thing completely down, reboot it, and try this thing again, but just didn't have time to do it tonight. So we do apologize for that. Jana, thank you for being with us. Matt, thank you, buddy, for being with us.
Thank you.
Good luck to y'all as y'all chase these points out for the last half of the year. And as we always like to close out our videos, and same thing we do here. We'll hope to see everybody again next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Central. Have a lot of fun.